You want to build inner strength? Then stop waiting for someone to hand it to you. Strength is built in the dark, not in the spotlight. It's earned when no one is watching. You don't build it when you're motivated. You build it when you're empty, when you're drained, when your mind is screaming to quit. And you still move forward. Inner strength isn't some fancy quote or a motivational meme. It's forged through pain, through struggle, through walking straight into the fire and refusing to let it consume you. It's waking up with your demons and going to war with them every single damn day. It's looking in the mirror and being honest about what's holding you back, and then attacking that weakness until there's nothing left. Most people want the easy route. They want comfort, but comfort is a liar. Comfort will seduce you, trap you, and then destroy you slowly. Inner strength is built by doing what you hate. It's built in freezing mornings, in lonely nights, in failure after failure where you still show up again. It's not built when you're winning. It's built when you're losing and still keep showing up. Every time you silence the voice that says, give up, every time you finish the set, the mile, even when it hurts, you get stronger. Not outside, inside. And that kind of strength can't be bought. It can't be faked. It can't be taken away. You want to build inner strength. Then get ready to suffer. Get ready to be uncomfortable. Get ready to do the work when it's boring, painful, and invisible. Because the truth is no one's coming to save you. No one's going to do it for you. This fight is yours. Own it. Win it. And build a mind that can't be broken. Inner strength is built in solitude and struggle. People love to talk about strength, but they only focus on what's seen: muscles, medals, accomplishments. What they don't see is where real inner strength is born, in the silence, in the loneliness, in the moments when you feel like breaking but choose not to. It's built when you're sitting alone with your thoughts, drowning in self-doubt, and no one is coming to cheer you on. There are no crowds there, no pats on the back, just you and a decision to keep going and fold. Most fold, but the few who keep going, they become savage, unshakable, unbreakable. There's a brutal truth people don't want to hear. Inner strength isn't built in celebration. It's built in isolation. When life punches you in the face and no one is around to lift you back up, that's where it's forged. You're on the floor, broken, exhausted. Voice in your head whispers, stay down. But you answer back, not today. And you rise again and again. That repetition of defiance, that's where the strength comes from. No shortcut, no miracle, just you and raw willpower. Solitude strips away all the distractions. It's the place where you finally meet yourself, not the version you show the world, but the one you try to run from. The scared, uncertain, angry version of you that's been hiding under fake smiles and fake motivation. When you're alone, there's no one left to lie to. And in that confrontation with your truth, you're handed two choices: evolve or stay weak. Strength doesn't come from pretending to be hard. It comes from being real, raw, and willing to face the war inside your own head. The struggle, that's the training ground. That's where you build the callus over your mind. Every challenge, every loss, every failure, it's a test. Not of your skills, but of your soul. Most people run from struggle. They pray for ease. But those who seek inner strength chase the hard things. They look for the grind. They embrace the pain, not because they enjoy suffering, but because they understand that it's the only path to becoming something more. Two, without struggle, there's no power. Without resistance, there is no growth. You don't build inner strength in the light. You build it in the dark. In the moments you feel forgotten. In the silence of your grind. When you're waking up at 4 a.m. and the world is asleep. When you're running through pain and fatigue. When you're working on your craft and no one even knows your name. That's the sacred space where warriors are born. Not in the spotlight, not in applause, but in the shadows. Grinding, growing. And that's why most people never find it. Because solitude is uncomfortable. Struggle is painful. But if you lean into it, if you embrace the storm instead of running from it, you'll find something deeper than motivation. You'll find identity, you'll find purpose. And you'll discover that the strength you were looking for was always inside you. It was just waiting for the silence and the suffering to bring it out. Do what you hate until it becomes discipline. You think discipline is motivation. Think again. Motivation is weak. It fades. It disappears the moment things get hard. Real discipline, that's doing the thing you hate over and over until it becomes part of you. It's waking up before the sun when your body begs for sleep. It's going for the run when your legs are shot. It's showing up again and again, even when everything in your soul screams, take a break. You don't build inner strength doing what you like. You build it by doing what you can't stand, by learning to dominate the discomfort. When you do what you hate, something starts to shift inside you. Every rep, every early morning, every painful moment becomes a brick laid in the foundation of your mindset. You start to harden, not in your body, but in your mind. It's not about becoming numb to the pain. It's about learning to function through it. You don't flinch anymore. 2, you don't have the same task that once broke you becomes your warm up, because you showed up when you didn't want to, because you pushed when everything said stop. You trained your brain to obey your standards, not your feelings. Discipline is the ability to override emotion with commitment. And the only way to sharpen that blade is by choosing the hard path every time. Don't want to run. Lace up. Don't want to study. Crack the book. Don't want to train. Go anyway. The more you ignore that inner resistance, the louder your inner strength becomes. The more you attack what you hate, the more control you gain over the part of you that wants to stay soft, comfortable, mediocre. Most people look for passion, look for inspiration. But warriors, they look for struggle. They look for the thing that makes them uncomfortable and run straight toward it. Why? Because they know that on the other side of hate, on the other side of dread, there is power. There is a version of you that can't be shaken. You don't find that version by avoiding the grind. You earn it by submitting yourself to it daily. Doing what you hate becomes the weapon that separates you from the average. Anyone can go when it feels good. Anyone can train when they're hyped up. But who shows up on the cold days? Who keeps going when the fire's gone and all that's left is cold steel and silence? That's the separator. That's the difference between someone who wants to look tough and someone who is tough. Discipline is doing what's necessary, not what's comfortable. When you make discipline your identity, there's nothing you can't push through. It becomes automatic. You no longer wait for inspiration. You act. You no longer need to feel ready. You move. And in doing so, you become dangerous. Not just to others, but to every excuse, every weakness, every voice in your head that says, it's okay to quit. Because you've trained yourself to do what you hate until it becomes exactly what makes you unstoppable. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort is a liar who promises peace, but delivers weakness. It lulls you to thinking you're doing okay when in reality, you're dying slowly inside. Growth doesn't live in comfort. It lives in discomfort and pressure in the places you avoid because they hurt. Comfort tells you to hit snooze. It tells you to take a rest day, to skip the gym, to relax after a long day. And the more you listen to it, the softer you become. The truth. Every time you choose comfort, you trade away the chance to evolve. You weren't made to live an easy life. You were made to overcome. Every time you lean into the grind, every time you say no to the couch and yes to the work, you sharpen your edge. Comfort will steal that edge without you even noticing. It doesn't come loud. It creeps in quietly. One day of rest turns into a week. One skip session becomes a habit. Suddenly, your hunger's gone. Your fire's out. And the scariest part, you don't even remember how it happened. That's comfort. It kills greatness with softness. Growth is violent. It tears, rips, breaks you down. And that's why so few people chase it. Because they've bought into the lie that life is about being happy, about being at peace all the time. But growth demands sacrifice. It demands pain. The gym doesn't build muscle with relaxation. It builds it by destroying and rebuilding. The mind works the same way. You must stretch it, test it, stress it. Growth means putting yourself in uncomfortable situations on purpose and learning to thrive there. Don't fear discomfort. Hunt it earlier than you want to. Push further than your body says it can go. Talk to people when you want to isolate. Training when you're tired. Study when you want to scroll. These aren't just actions. They're declarations. Every time you do something uncomfortable, you're telling your mind who's in charge. You're proving that growth matters more than ease. That purpose matters more than pleasure. That your future matters more than your feelings. People think growth is a gift. It's not. It's earned through self-imposed adversity. No one hands it to you. You have to take it. You have to want the pain more than you want the pillow. You have to chase discomfort like your life depends on it, because it does. A comfortable life might look nice on the outside, but inside, it's empty. Because deep down, you'll always know you never became who you were meant to be. Not because you weren't capable, but because you chose comfort. So if you're looking for growth, stop waiting for the right time, the right energy, the right plan. Get uncomfortable. Force yourself into the unknown. Embrace the burn, the failure, rejection. Because those moments, that's where transformation lives. That's where your real self is born. Not the version shaped by comfort, but the one forged in fire. Comfort will tell you to slow down. Growth will tell you to keep going. One leads to regret. The other builds the kind of strength that nothing can break. Choose wisely. Attack your weaknesses relentlessly. You want to build inner strength. Then stop avoiding the parts of you that are soft, scared, and untrained. Face them. Hunt them down. Attack your weaknesses like your life depends on it, because it does. Weaknesses don't just go away with time. They grow in the dark if you ignore them. And one day, when everything is on the line, they will surface and destroy everything you've built. That's why you can't be passive. You've got to go to war with what's holding you back. No excuses, no distractions, just raw accountability. Most people protect their weaknesses. They hide them. Cover them up with fake confidence and distraction. But the strongest people you'll ever meet, they know exactly where they're weak. And they assault it daily. If they're bad at running, they run until their lungs burn. If they're afraid of speaking, they speak until their voice shakes no more. Weaknesses aren't curses. They're signals. They tell you exactly where you need to grow. But that only works if you stop hiding from them. Inner strength is not built by perfecting your strengths. It's built by chasing your flaws with a vengeance. You've got to look yourself in the mirror and be brutally honest. Where do you suck? What triggers your fear? What makes you quit early, hesitate, fold? And once you identify it, you train it. Relentlessly. No matter how much it hurts, you lean into the discomfort until it becomes part of your normal. Until what once owned you becomes something you dominate with ease. You can't outrun weakness. You can't outlift it. You can't distract yourself from it. The only way is through it. Through the failure, through the embarrassment, through the grind that no one wants to do. And every time you face it, you're proving to yourself that you will not let fear, laziness, or limitation write your story. Most people stay average because they refuse to do this. They're more interested in looking strong than being strong. But looking strong in public while being weak in private is a slow death. There's nothing more powerful than a person who's attacked every weakness in their life with intention and aggression. That's the kind of inner strength you can't fake. That's the kind of discipline that keeps showing up when life collapses around you. It's built in the days when you wanted to hide, but chose to stand. In the hours of practice, of sweat, of silence, when you told the weakness inside you, not today. You don't get to win. So dig deep. Find your weak spots. Write them down. Circle them. And then build a plan to destroy them. Not next week. Not when it's convenient. Now. Right now. Because every second you delay, they grow stronger. And every day you ignore them, you lose ground in the war for your potential. This isn't about being perfect. This is about being better than you were yesterday. This is about building a version of yourself that no weakness, no excuse, no failure can break. Attack your weaknesses like your future depends on it, because it does. Silence the inner voice that wants you to quit. There's a voice inside you that's always trying to sell you comfort. It whispers, you've done enough. It says, no one would blame you for stopping. It shows up when you're tired, when you're hurting, when you're halfway through the mission, and the pain starts screaming louder than your purpose. That voice is the enemy. And if you want to build inner strength, you've got to learn how to shut it down permanently. That voice isn't your friend. It's not trying to protect you. It's trying to rob you of everything you're capable of becoming. Inner strength is not built by listening to that voice. It's built by answering back. Voice says, quit. You say, keep. When it says, you're done. You say, one more rep, one more mile, one more hour. You don't reason with it. You don't negotiate. You dominate it. That voice is fear, weakness, and self-doubt wrapped up in a disguise of logic. But real warriors know it's a liar. And the only way to kill a lie is with truth, with action, with repetition so loud it drowns out every excuse. You have to train your mind like you train your body. That means repetition, discipline, deliberate exposure to hardship. The more you push through discomfort, the more control you gain over that voice. It doesn't go away. You just stop listening. And eventually something beautiful happens. That quitter voice gets quieter. And the other voice, the one that says, keep fighting, The one that says, earn your place. That voice gets stronger. That's the voice you feed. That's the one that builds you. The average person hears the voice and stops, but you're not average. You silence it with action. You outwork it. You keep showing up when your body's begging you to stay down. And every time you do, you gain another level of mental toughness. That's the kind of strength no one can see, but it changes everything. Because when things get hard, and they always do, most people fold, but not you. You've trained in the darkness. You've faced that inner quitter 1,000 times. And every time you buried it deeper. There's going to come a moment where quitting feels like the only option left, where your body is wrecked, your mind is fried, and the task in front of you looks impossible. That soft voice will come again. Just stop. You've done enough. But if you've done the work, if you've built the habit of answering back, you'll say, this is exactly where I get stronger. That moment is where the inner warrior takes over. Not the version of you that's motivated, but the one that's disciplined, forged through fire, and trained to survive storms. The voice that wants you to quit is never going away, but you can make it irrelevant. You can build a mindset so solid, so locked in that it doesn't matter what it says. You still move forward. You still grind. You still rise. That's what separates the elite from the average. That's what builds true inner strength. Not talent, not genetics, but the ability to hear that voice and refuse to obey it.